What's up, guys? How's it going, everybody? My name is Blitzwanger, ladies, gents. It feels good to be back. Finally, Marvel has got another brand new installment on Disney Plus, and it is the one and only, the God of Mischief, Loki, getting his own show. I am once again for a weekly podcast being joined by the one and only Gabe and Dean. Dean, what's going on, dude?
How you doing? I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Gabe, how are you doing, bro?
I'm even more glad to be here than Dean.
Double glad. That's Dean.
All right. All right, Gabe. Gabe just started a war and he doesn't even know about it yet.
Oh man.
So what you guys been up to? We've had like a month break, right? Basically.
I moved.
That's true, to an even darker house. Gabe is slowly but surely moving into a cave. My guy's gonna be reporting from a bat cave.
Here, do we need more?
Show.
Oh boy.
It's all build up. It's all build up to the bat cave. I'm working on it. Yeah.
Slowly but surely. Gabe will become you will not be able to decipher him. You'll just see two glowing glasses. Just by the time that we're up to like what's the next show? What if? It's gonna be
is it what
just
if?
the glasses.
It's cinematic. Leave me alone.
Yeah, very. I will say, Gabe has the most. Me and Dean literally look like we're filming in the same room. Like literally,
it's just over there.
Yeah, just the same exact color of walls, everything. And then you just see Gabe. Gabe's getting darker and darker. But that's good, Gabe. We're happy that. How was your move?
Moving is the worst thing in the world.
It is.
Really? I love it. I don't know why. I'm like,
dude,
I'm weird though. I know, because most people hate moving. I love it because I almost like, ooh, opportunity to like change things up.
It's true.
Yeah, but
That's
then
a good point.
I think that, but then like it remains the same. Like like the couches in the living room are the exact same where they were in the other living room. Like, hey, I said I was gonna do something different. I wanted to paint a wall. The walls are the same color.
Fair enough.
The only thing that changes is it does get darker.
It does seem to get very dark, slowly but surely.
Cinematic. Let's stop saying dark. This my webcam is directed by Zack Snyder.
He just needs like black, like the black borders on the bottom and the top, and then just like squish it into that ratio, and then it'll be great. Yeah. And then it'll be super black and white, like go back old school.
Yeah. What you guys? First of all, Manny, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Hi, Gabe."
Hi, Manny.
Hi. What'd you guys hear about the show? How excited, not excited are you? We're going through this weird moment now, right? Like this is the last show, and then it's like hopefully the world goes back to normal, sort of, right? Like we got Black Widow coming out July. Yeah. That's in movie theaters already. So,
I mean, if movie theaters are open for you,
dude, they're going to be open for us by then.
I hope so. I already missed Demon Slayer.
I've been to so many movies.
Man, I'm. Yeah. Anyways,
I've not. Good things, bad things. What have you guys heard?
I haven't heard much. And to be honest, I don't really care too much for the Marvel shows because I've been hyped for the last few, and they've just been like okay for the most part. There's nothing like crazy special, I think, that's like happened or anything that I like really remember. A few moments, but I'm gonna go in with lower expectations and see how it goes. But I think I've heard more negative than positive for the show. Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
I don't know who you follow on Twitter.
I don't follow. I don't follow. Like I don't really look at Twitter too much. I just like talk to people.
You, dude.
Just you. People are all over this. My expectations are like zero. Like I haven't
been on Twitter.
Okay.
Like I have no affinity or care for Loki as a character. Like I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, Tom Hiddleston. Like, you know.
I like Loki. I think Loki's a cool character. I hate time travel and I hate like all of that stuff.
What do you like about him?
Like I liked him more at the start of the Marvel MCU because like I wanted him to be more of an evil character. Like I actually like the fact that he was an evil character, but now it's like Marvel has this like, oh, he's a good guy, oh, he's a bad guy type of thing. So like you know,
he was cool before he died 3 times.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He is the epitome of what I don't like about Marvel.
Like, he actually died 3 times.
I think so. Well,
yes.
I think so.
Oh,
yeah,
actually,
died 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh my
He
god.
actually has. Yeah.
I mean, but he's like what a comic book character is. Like, you know, like they just never die.
Yeah. Now, for me personally, I've actually heard relatively good things. Apparently, this show kind of strives to do an in between WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier or Captain America Winter Soldier, whatever we call that show now.
Get it right. Get it right.
It's apparently there will be some mystery elements here. So there will be like time travel and all that. But then it's also, it has action. So it's going to try to kind of like balance instead of lean to one camp or the other, which to me sounds kind of promising. So I'm stoked for it. I honestly think my expectations built the closer we got to the show. So now I am excited, although you guys just completely poo-pooed everything. Like, you guys both are like,
I
"No,
mean,
it's gonna be trash."
No, well, I never
Hey.
say it's gonna be trash. It's just like I'm not excited for it at all. Like if it's quality, it's quality, and like
I did kind of say it's trash because I said I was going with lower expectations.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess.
So before we go in, one last thing to remind people in chat: if you're watching this live right now, you can also head over to the Discord channel. There's watch parties being hosted on there, so you can go check that out as well. At least on my channel, the Blitzwinger Discord, so you can go check that
Smart way
out.
of doing that.
Yeah. In addition to that, guys, there will be a timer that you can use to go on ahead and sync with us. So I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, go. When I press that, that's when you want to go on ahead and launch the show on your end as well. Aside from that, anything else you guys want to mention before we dive into the episode?
it's a long episode. Like this is
Yeah.
starting long. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it a
hopefully
6-episode show? Like,
Oh, I have no idea.
okay.
Yes, I think this is 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be like the same length as Captain America
Falcon.
Yeah.
or Falcon
Mhm.
or whatever
Yeah.
that show is.
Cap Falcon
Cap,
America.
yeah,
what
exactly.
it
Yeah.
is.
All right.
Yeah. All right, we ready?
Ready.
Here we go. And of course, guys, once we're done, we're going to break it down and discuss everything. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. I really hope
Woo-wee.
I got things working properly. It's been a
Dude,
while.
the right
Working.
language?
Don't worry about it.
New York City. Some flashing lights and sequences or patterns may affect
Oh,
photosensitive
the
users.
first Avengers.
Oh, Brock Rumlow. They must have shot this when they were filming
Mm-hmm.
Endgame.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy to think.
This might be the exact same stuff as before. Not this, I guess.
I don't think this is that scene because I don't remember him transforming into Cap like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember
Yeah.
that either.
What? Yes, that happened. Yeah,
Really?
that
Did?
happened. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, that happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, this.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah. This is actually. I
This
remember all of
remember.
this. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
yeah, this all happened, dude.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Whoa!
Oh.
It was a good jump scare. Forgot about that. That seemed a little goofy out of context like that. It's like, why you hate stairs so much, bro?
Like, I get it worked out for Loki that he took the Tesseract and then he just like dipped. But like, why didn't he just dip earlier?
He didn't have the Tesseract.
Oh, right. That specifically is the
Because the
portal.
Tesseract is what allows him to.
Right.
travel
Because in the
through.
staff he had the small little crystal. Man, it really has been a while. I do have to say that my hype for Marvel stuff's gone downhill from Endgame.
Feel like it too, which is a little worrisome.
I
but I also
agree.
feel like maybe they're aware of it, which is
Mhm.
why they're doing this kind of like, hey, let's introduce a new cast of characters and start building towards another 10 years,
Yeah.
you know, like establishing a new Cap.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anybody else getting Uncharted 3 vibes?
Prince of Persia.
Oh, everybody thinks of whatever they care for.
Oh
So
man.
this is the Gobi Desert in Mongolia. Interesting.
I don't know how to position my mic.
Come
Iron
on,
Man.
Dean, you've done this, you know.
I know. I just have a really bad setup right now. Did I tell you?
Be an homage to Iron Man. You're right.
Yo, it's your same setup that you've had.
No. I had a different setup a long while ago.
Okay.
What is this? Oh, what the?
It's a time staff.
Yeah.
It's so awkward that it just keeps
It
flopping.
just-
Dang, they got him.
That was pretty cool though. I'm not gonna lie.
Loki's great at being captured.
And then escaping.
I just like the concept that there's a police force out there that maintains control over one specific timeline, right?
Wait, but then
we're
wouldn't
in
you-
Endgame.
Yeah.
What did she say? What did she
Yeah.
call it? Was it primary? No, not primary.
The-
What did she call it?
I don't know.
There's a name for
They'll
the
say it
main
again
timeline.
probably this episode.
Because he doesn't belong in that timeline, right? Because he's a variant.
Yep.
Oh, there's a scroll.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. That's great. I love that.
That thing looks like straight out of Portal. No?
Yeah,
That little
it's
robot
It's
behind him.
GLaDOS. It's GLaDOS.
Oh.
Oh my. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey, you get a cap.
Oh my god, this show's amazing already.
He's like, please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
And then it
What?
fits the next one. Oh.
Oh, that was great. You could print the sign. Oh.
That stare he does at Loki. He just stares at him the entire time.
Just keep going floor through floor.
Yes, yes, and no.
Dude, this is great so far. Great tone. Set design.
It's just a picture.
This is a Polaroid.
The little tab thing. Oh.
Okay.
I swear I'm getting Portal vibes from like all the posters and everything.
Mm-hmm. I was
Yeah,
thinking the same thing.
That looks like the aperture thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All this intense eye contact.
Dude, imagine that guy. You get to just act with Tom Hiddleston in that little tiny scene.
You just stare at him. Yeah. Time variance authority.
Oh man.
That's what it's called. The sacred timeline.
Mm.
Great ad.
Yeah, it says narrative commission at the bottom. What? He
Okay, go get
oh
another ticket just in case.
he's trying to find the one he put in his pocket. honestly, great start so far. I'm actually really enjoying it.
The Twilight Zone.
Very Twilight Zoney.
It's cool. I like it. Good, cool opening too.
I think that might actually be kind of the format for the show. Like it'll be kind of one-off type. Whoa.
Yeah.
1549.
Dang.
Oh, it's wow, man. Owen Wowson.
Mm.
Imagine this kid telling stories going forward.
Mm-hmm.
This kid is one of Steve Jobs' long ancestors. That's how he creates Apple.
In the future.
Mephisto?
They've confirmed it is not Mephisto.
Confirm. They're just gonna keep teasing it.
Why does he have blue teeth?
Laufeyson.
That's his last name. Just gonna pin it down on them.
Oh, okay.
You just fart?
I think he's
That's what I
trying to
would've done.
create a fart.
No, I think he's trying to like
No,
Loki
no,
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's trying to multiply himself. Uh-oh.
Is it bad? Is that just supposed to go on for like infinity?
I don't think it goes on for infinity.
Yeah, I think it's just what we see.
This is what we
Yeah.
see.
Marvel is back, baby. There's got to be Easter eggs right there.
Mephisto.
For sure.
Space lizards.
Looks retro and futuristic at the same time.
Yeah. All the sets so far have been amazing.
Yeah.
Like they just
Yeah.
have such a distinct tone.
Let's try. Oh, oh boy.
Kill the Avengers. Wrong answer.
That was so awkward.
I just love how a lot of the tech looks so ancient, but then it has this like super hyper futuristic twist.
Yeah. That was cool.
This is a great line. Oh, okay. Cool.
This is something we haven't seen before, right?
Nope.
Pretty sure.
Mr. Cooper.
On an what a guy.
So this is based on like the story of DB Cooper.
I see.
It's unfortunate that it's just like a little side thing. I was hoping it was a whole episode.
I guess I'm curious, why was he stealing money?
Yeah. What does he need money for?
What would he need?
And then he gets.
That's why.
Well,
That's
there's
why.
the explanation.
Well,
Well, yeah, because to be fair, this Loki hasn't experienced anything past Avengers, right?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Saying thank you.
No chance this time.
Zelko, thanks. He just put some in his pocket. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
I missed it.
I think he pickpocketed him.
I think he took the controller maybe.
When he was picking him up,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he went for his pocket, and then you could see that he put some in his own pocket.
Yeah, he picked up the controller. Yep.
What a compelling argument. Hey, dude, what's your name? Casey. Casey, give me the blue box or I'm going to murder you immediately.
Casey's the best.
He just has like.
Whoa.
What?
Just in a drawer.
Just chilling. There's multiple amounts.
Multiples of each, by the way.
Yeah. That's paperweights.
There's got to be so many Easter eggs in there, like to pause that screen right there.
Yeah, probably.
He took the time one. Is that it?
Did he take the
I
green
think
one?
he's starting
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he took the green one. Did he?
Well, I mean, he
Okay.
hasn't taken it, but it's in his hand. Oh, yeah.
I think he's just maybe starting to believe that this is actually a real place.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that guy said is actually true.
Now he's going to have to become king of this place.
Yeah, pretty much.
She just vaporized a bunch of infinity stones.
Yeah.
She just reset them. Wait,
Mhm.
so if she resets the Infinity Stones, do they get sent back?
Hope not. That would suck.
But like, we
Let's just
also
do it
don't
all
know
again, guys.
we don't know which timeline they'd be from. So
Yeah.
Why does that like time computer look like an old iMac?
it's probably the point.
Yeah, he doesn't know that Odin's gonna die as well. And then they're just gonna play some metal music and pretend like it never happened.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok, like literally.
I remember you had that same criticism when we watched it.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. That's how he should have reacted in the actual movie. Oh, and then he's probably gonna see himself die at Thanos' hands, right?
Oh, like, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, don't worry, dude. You do that all the time.
That's it. The tape ends. So that was his real death.
But doesn't him knowing all of this make it not gonna happen? Doesn't he need to be reset now?
Probably.
Alrighty. Alright, Loki.
Later.
But now he can't do that trick to himself.
That's true.
He's just gonna.
There's the god of mischief.
Yeah, there's the god of mischief.
So he has the Tesseract, and he has his powers back.
Wait, why do you think he has his powers
Wait,
back?
yeah, why does he have his power back?
Because that thing was keeping.
No, I
I'm
thought it
using
was
it.
magic just doesn't work
No,
there.
yeah, I
like
think
in
magic
this
doesn't work
realm.
there.
Oh,
That thing was to have him be able
You're
to go
right.
through time.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's a twist.
Dang. Wow. Post credit scene? Any
Well, like,
chance? You guys know?
I'm on the PlayStation right now, so you guys go check.
I'll check.
Gabe, can you check?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Jeez, what an episode.
No.
What an episode. No,
No?
post credits.
Okay.
Okay. Holy moly.
Jeez,
Damn.
that was an episode.
So,
I got
So-
thoughts.
so-
I got thoughts.
okay. Start us. Go.
I actually don't know how much I like this show. I would so as I was watching the first episode so far, I kept teetering on the edge of like the wordplay is great, the dialogue is fantastic, but I don't know if I can get behind the idea of the show. Like the time travel and all of that stuff. It doesn't appeal to me. I feel like it raises so many questions, like not even questions, but almost like it makes it so that they can't really ever do anything without like, because everything is as the timeline like says, right? So I'm hoping that like
Well, not
in
always. There will sometimes be
well,
variants.
they're variants, but the
Yeah.
point is that they like go and fix it, and like there's the timekeepers who keep it straight, and it's basically like one timeline that like doesn't really deviate much. So it's like,
Yeah, but like what, like
So what's the
what-
issue then? I'm confused.
yeah, like okay, like sure, like whatever ends up happening because of the show, because clearly it'll have ramifications. Like them saying, "Oh, it was supposed to happen this way," doesn't mean whatever happens less impactful. Like the impact will still be there, just because they say, "Oh, it was always supposed to happen like this." I mean, whatever happens is gonna happen. Yeah, I like with any like time travel thing.
I don't know, like that logic, like that sentence in and of itself just seems so strange to me. Like everything is supposed to happen. Like I don't like when they do like this time traveling stuff, because then it makes more questions in the future.
Here's a tip: pretend they didn't say it. Like just take that sentence out of your head, right? Like the whole "oh, it was always supposed to happen," just ignore it, and then whatever happens, happens.
I mean, I think that it does create just an interesting conversation about free will, right? Like, is there such a
Oh,
concept
yeah.
as free will, or
Yeah,
is
I
everything
agree.
predetermined, right? And like predestined to happen a certain way? So I don't necessarily have an issue with that. Like the idea of is everything meant to be the way it's meant to be, or is there truly a concept of free will, or do we just believe that there is, but there actually isn't?
I mean,
I think that's an
okay.
interesting point.
That's
Dude,
a good
that
point.
episode was fun as hell. I have
Agreed.
something.
I don't know.
Like,
I can't get behind
I don't
it.
care for the character of Loki, but this episode was just fun to watch. It was written by Michael Waldron.
Let's
I
go,
hope I'm-
Michael.
Here's the
Of course,
funny thing.
legendary Michael Waldron. What else is he?
He is because of this. He
Let's
writes
see it.
Rick and Morty, which makes a whole lot of freaking sense.
Genius.
Mhm.
Good
Yes.
person to pick for this kind of project.
And he wrote. I don't know if he wrote the whole thing, but he wrote Multiverse of Madness. So
Well, we haven't seen
Doctor-
that, so can't tell.
Ooh.
no, we haven't seen it. No, but they're talking about multiverses in this, and everybody said WandaVision will lead into that. This seems like this might help
Yeah,
make a little bit of sense with what's going on with everything.
I hope.
Yeah. Okay. So the screenplay for Multiverse of Men was written by Michael and one other person, Jade Bartlett. So them two are the mind behind the next Doctor Strange. I just thought that was interesting, and the whole Rick and Morty thing. This felt like a Rick and Morty episode.
Which? Okay,
Hmm.
can someone explain to me which Loki did they take that was this variant? Like this is just
There's only one
Loki.
Loki.
yeah. So like
Yeah,
the
they
idea.
just-
Okay, well, is there one Loki? Because the enemy is
Okay,
Loki.
fine. We don't know that, but like, there's like one. Like, where are you confused? Because this is the same Loki that you've seen. This is
But
the
he
same Loki
doesn't-
that was up.
So, but this is the Loki from Endgame, right? Like after they.
No, because he didn't get to that.
Oh, sorry. This is the Avengers, right? The first Avengers.
Yeah,
Right.
He
Yeah.
dipped
Right.
out of Avengers, so he didn't
Yeah.
get to the Endgame
He
stuff.
watches
So,
everything.
But we still see the Loki in Endgame.
yeah, we do.
Yeah,
But it is what?
because in
But if it's
that
one timeline-
but in that timeline, he never left.
But-
But
but
because
that's-
the Avengers time travel.
No, but
Yeah,
even.
he-
Oh, I see what you mean. In that
the
timeline
Avengers
specifically, and then they
to
travel.
that moment and then mess
That-
up everything
and then
going
that,
forward.
yeah, I see what
because
you mean.
that's what created the anomaly. This Loki is supposed to be dead,
Right,
but
and
he
the
time
Avengers.
traveled out of. Yeah, I mean,
So
Yeah.
why is
It
that
ma- it
his
makes
fault?
sense.
And why is that not the Avengers' fault?
They were supposed to do it. They just told you.
Oh yeah, they're supposed to create this time variant that's the variant's not supposed to actually exist.
Oh no, he didn't create the variant. They didn't create
No,
the variant.
well,
Loki did.
but that situation only occurred because they time traveled.
Oh, the funny thing about choice, Loki chooses to do that. He could easily not pick up the Tesseract.
But that situation where the Tesseract falls and everything wouldn't have happened if the Avengers hadn't gone back in time.
Yeah, I understand that. But then, like, what if Loki just wouldn't have picked up the Tesseract? Like, he had that choice, I guess, or according to this, not. But yeah, they created that choice. Like, but then you still have a choice within that scenario, right?
But they said that everything is supposed to happen as it's supposed to happen.
No.
No, not
I
this.
think that's the whole point. It's almost like there is a certain pathway of how things play out. Like kind of like it's almost like if I told you like the ending to a story, but then you still get to pick and choose how you get there. It's like a telltale game,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
where the ending is the same for everybody, but how you get there depends. Like your run might be different than Gabe's or mine, right? It's the same kind of idea where you still get to make choices along the way, but the big moments they will play out the way that they need to play out.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
all it comes down to is Loki should have never picked up the Tesseract and done his little phase out of there. Like if that would have never happened, everything would have been fine, and Loki would have died, and everything was good. But since he did, that's what causes him being a variant, and that's what all this is about.
Yeah.
I hope
I
they
thought-
expand because I'm not a fan.
What? Like what are you
Not a
confused
fan?
about?
Like I don't well like I'm just not a fan of the like the premise. Like I just don't like the idea of like the him time traveling and everything. Like I guess I like the idea of like the free will stuff, but like I guess I don't know. It's just to me like Loki's the good guy and the bad guy, right? Like essentially. Like I just want them
No,
to expand on what's happening because like I just
Yeah, it's episode 1.
no, I know, but I'm just saying like these are my thoughts because like as of episode 1, I'm like, it's okay. I think but like I said earlier, like the wordplay and everything
are
and
you
the jokes.
just confused like by the premise, or because I guess I'm just a little confused like as far as like, because to me I thought that's like setting wise incredible. Like no other show has felt more like a lived in world than this one. Like this really felt like, oh my god, like they thought of all the little things, the details, like all the attention to detail with the time variance who really brought it to life like as a real thing, as like this organization that has to maintain on behalf of the timekeepers. We don't know the timekeepers. They tease the idea of like who are they and why do they get to decide like what is supposed to happen or isn't supposed to happen. Comedy beats and everything like that. Like I don't know, maybe for some people it was a little too jokey, but I feel like in the right moments, like when we see, like, just imagine that concept of like you get to watch your future self go through kind of almost like a redemption arc, right? Because this Loki is right on the verge of like, this is the most evil Loki has been, right at the end of Avengers. And then after that we slowly but surely see him redeem himself, right? Like through Thor 2, Thor Ragnarok, like beyond that, right? Like he goes through an arc where
Yeah, every time he dies, he becomes a little nicer.
yeah. So it's like but I thought they did a good job of like actually showing him like be emotional by the moments of like seeing his mother, then seeing his adopted father die, and then seeing, of course, at the end when he dies, and he kind of like I thought that the acting there and everything was good. So I don't know. For me, I thought this was a really, really, really good start for something that will be very interesting. I thought that the biggest like out of left field thing was that they're hunting down Loki. That's going to be very weird, I think.
Well, I don't think that's as straightforward as we like may think. Like, do I think that the guy holding the lantern with the hood is just actual Tom Hiddleston? No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it's going to be him.
I also think it's going to be him.
I think there's something there. I think there's something there. I don't think it's that straightforward.
That's the criticism I have, is that I almost wish that would have just been a new character, because I think that would be a little bit cooler if because the way they set it up is like this, this character's been just completely like going through different timelines and massacring the Minuteman without doubt. But then to be like, oh yeah, and it's Loki. I guess it makes sense as to why Mobius would go for Loki and be like, oh, you could help me stop you because you would know how you think, sort of. So it sort of makes sense. But at the same time, I almost wish that they would have just established some other threat that we wouldn't know about, right? Like give us a couple of episodes to figure out like who is this? Like who is this force, and how the heck do they have access to the same tech that the TVA has? Which they kind of do a good job at the end there, right? Like establishing of how that happened, that it was in, what was it, Oklahoma or something at the end there, where he gets the actual like charge thing that allows them to travel, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if it was Tom Hiddleston, we would have seen it. Like, you really think it's that straightforward? Do you think it's just him?
I think it will be him. Some people in chat, interestingly enough, saying it's female Loki. That'd be an interesting twist.
That would be an interesting twist.
Because in the comics, they have done female Loki.
I guess like the next question is like, where does this Loki come from? Like, I guess there's another variant.
Multiverses. Yeah, there's multiverses, and
well, they show that there are multiple timelines. It's just that there's one main timeline, and when you fray away from it, you cause rifting, which then creates like friction between the timelines, forcing them to start battling it out for which one rules them all, sort of. And so the time variance is assigned to make sure that those, because remember, even when they were in France, it's the guy walks up to him and says, "Hey, we got to go because it's almost reaching the red line." I'm assuming that means like if you stick around in one timeline for a certain amount of time, it establishes like a new path, like because you've created like a rift that's now permanent. Whereas the Minutemen are able to travel in and out, which again, I agree with Dean as far as like time travel is always really tough to do because there's so many things like logic wise. Yes, logic wise, it's always really tough. But I do like that at least they're trying to like kind of establish some rule set here where it's not just the Wild West, at least so far, right? Like where they're saying you can head into these timelines, but you can't if you spend. The only way that you create a new timeline is if you spend enough time within that timeline.
Question
If you
for
don't,
you then.
and you get pulled back in and reset, which is what the TVA is assigned to do, then you just go back to how you were and you never create the alternating path.
Okay, so question then. Steve Rogers, it was supposed to be that he time travels, goes into that other timeline, like, but like, and lives with
Peggy, yeah.
So that's all just supposed to happen. Even though he's in a different timeline for
Well,
a
for
long
him, maybe that's the whole idea, is that it's almost like he has to go through all that suffering so that then he has to participate in the fight against Thanos. That was his destiny. And then after that, he gets to go and live happily ever after.
I guess. I mean, like, like this is the thing. I'm not like, I don't think the episode was bad by any means. I just like, I don't know. It's not something that particularly intrigues me by any like crazy like amount.
I agree with. I don't like time travel either, but I don't know why. Everything about this show I love so far. Music,
fun. It's just fun.
The dialogue was incredible.
The dialogue is my favorite for sure.
I love that it tonally it was very like funky, and it doesn't like, as much as the TVA itself takes itself incredibly serious, the actual like
they seem like they're joking all the time.
But yes, I agree. But like,
even
I like that
the judge was joking.
Yeah, but I like that the characters themselves, like, for me, it would be fascinating to understand, like, are they humans, right? Like, are they just humans from other worlds that like are hired by the TVA, or like how?
I'm pretty sure they created. Like, that's what they said.
Okay, so, but why are they created in the image of human?
That's another good question.
No,
right?
Like, again, if you get into like stuff like that, like, you're just gonna hate the show. Like, you gotta like suspend your disbelief a little bit.
I want that type of stuff to be addressed. Like, that would be really cool if you wouldn't be interested to be like, oh, why do the timekeepers create like?
But didn't we see scrolls and stuff at the start of the episode? So it's not just humans.
But he was being arrested.
Oh, that's a good point.
So what I'm curious is, like, so far everybody who works at the TVA is humans. So it's like, why? That's an interesting question.
That's a good point.
And again, I really do wonder, will they even address the timekeepers? Like, is that going to be like the finale? Is that Loki comes face to face with a timekeeper, or is this going to be a case of like the Wizard of Oz, where you build up to it, but then ultimately it's like there really isn't any time, and it's all just this big.
I think there's timekeepers. I also don't think that we ever get an answer to why everyone's human. I think just because
I don't think we will either, but I think it'd be nice. I think the answer is as simple as humans are watching it.
I wouldn't be. It would be interesting to me, like, even if it was just as simple as like that's what you see if you're a human. So like they appear different depending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when they travel to Skrulls, they appear as Skrulls, but to us, because we're watching it as like from Loki's perspective, sort of thing, they appear as human.
One of the things that was like interesting, like when they were in like that chapel or whatever with that kid with the blue teeth, like they're talking different languages, and the guy's like, "Oh, hey, I know every language in the timeline too." Like,
yeah.
So like, I don't know, maybe there is something to that too, where like, I don't know, that they are this like all-encompassing being, and they can't just be anything. And maybe because it was just a human kid, maybe they do just look like human.
I mean, they're created by timekeepers, so it's not like a leap. It's not like that much of a leap to think
the timekeepers look like humans. They're just tall. They're just tall.
To me, like you see, this is the thing. I like all this because to me, this is what makes a show fun to watch, especially week to week. Is because I feel like if it was a straightforward narrative, kind of like Captain America and Winter Soldier was, where it was very like just very specific story beats. There's really nothing to like delve into. You know what I mean? Like aside from racial and like all that, there was nothing for us to be like, oh, but what does this mean? That mean? Like here, you can literally have philosophical discussions about free will. Like, who would have thought from a Marvel show, like, to bring up those kinds of conversations? I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I like the show way more than I thought I would. Like, it's gonna depend so much on what they do, right? And I'm a fan of consequences. I'm a fan of stories that make sense and have beginning, middle, and ends. And when you have time travel, it makes it all kind of hard.
There is no beginning, middle, and ends.
Yeah, there is. Why not?
Well, I mean, like I guess. Like, I guess Loki's supposed to die at that specific moment.
Oh no, yeah, dude.
Right?
Look,
like,
man,
that's it.
Loki's not coming back to the current timeline. Like,
I don't know. I guess I like the idea of the overall discussion. I don't know. I just can't get behind it.
Yeah,
There's some certain thing in my brain or something.
I don't know how they will play it out, because that is a very valid point from Gabe. Is like, how the heck do they end this? Like, how do they just reset him and like just let history play out basically, and that's the end of the show?
Will they catch the evil Loki, right? What now? Does he continue working as the detective, or
then you get to go live out the rest.
So Loki doesn't die there. I mean, he just gets basically he eventually
but he has to be reset, because he can't.
But that's my point.
He can't be sent back with the knowledge, because then he'll make a different decision.
And
Because you know that when he's standing in that moment when the Dark Elves ask him, like, where's Loki, he's not going to send him to go kill his mother.
And so is he alive in this dimension for the TVA? Like, are they alive, or is this like a state of like in between?
Yeah.
Well, this is my question. So then technically he doesn't die. Like, he eventually when you go through the circle, he eventually comes out and he's not dead, even though he sees himself die, right? He's still living in the TVA. So unless they reset him,
no, he dies. That's the end of his file. Because you have to remember that this Loki gets picked up from Avengers. So like, this Loki did not experience anything past that scene where he gets handcuffed in Avengers.
Yeah, okay.
He has to watch it all, which means that he kind of like gets to see like, hey, here's how your life is gonna go. Like, this is how your path plays out. You have no say, and like, this is how it's gonna go. You will die at Thanos' hand trying to help Thor.
Okay,
like that's
he has to be reset then afterwards.
Yeah,
at the end of everything.
That's why they get reset, because otherwise they have knowledge of the existence of the TVA, and in addition to that, they possibly have knowledge over like actual ways that their life plays out, right? Like, because this has probably happened with other characters aside from Loki, right? So
you probably can't keep him to work on the TVA either, because then he can just escape at any moment.
Not just that, he needs to be in that timeline.
Well, I guess that too. So like,
he's missing from the timeline, right?
Yeah, well, just like a little.
So how? Oh, I guess they started off by saying like time moves differently. So they're gonna go through the whole thing, and then they're eventually gonna reset him.
Yeah, because he says that the time here moves differently.
Okay, so what's the point of the show?
To have fun, man.
Have fun, bro. Well, actually, no. That's the thing. We'll see the motivation of this other Loki, because you have to acknowledge, like, first of all, what is this other Loki? Why is this other Loki on Midgard? Right? Like, who is this other Loki? Because if let's say I hope I'm wrong, but I think it will just be Tom Hiddleston, like evil Tom Hiddleston type thing. But I hope I'm wrong, and let's say it is like Lady Loki or something like that. Like, why is she doing this? Blah blah blah. Like, there's all these things that you would then be.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want them to elaborate. I want to see what things happen.
It's been one episode, dude. They just established time travel in 50 minutes, better than most movies do in 2.5 hours.
Dean, I have a question. When you say, then what's the point of the show? It's very popular, but I don't think it's your thing. But I'm gonna ask anyways. Did you watch Mayor of Easttown? It's the HBO show that just. Okay.
No, I don't really watch HBO shows.
Okay, like, what's like a recent show that you've seen that's like not anime?
Pokemon.
Just like a recent like TV show.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
No, not Marvel really. Not Marvel.
Dude, I literally don't watch anything else.
You don't watch like Game of Thrones or anything?
No. I I literally don't. There's very, very few shows that actually intrigue me nowadays.
All right, so like I'll just like use a
Stuff
anime,
like this.
see,
If it wasn't for Marvel, I'd be done on the first episode.
okay, look, all right, so I don't know, Demon Slayer. Nobody hate me. I haven't finished seeing Demon Slayer. I'm like in the middle of it. The show's great, but like when you get to like the end of it, and you say like, what was the point of it? Like, what's the point to like anything you watch? It tells you a story, right? It tells you the.
You haven't finished it.
It doesn't like.
Well, I mean, I could say something, but I don't want to spoil anything for you.
No, don't spoil it. But like I'm saying, like
So
when someone is like telling a story, regardless of whether you like the story or not,
Especially when they're the first page.
yeah. But saying like, you know, what's the point? Like, what's the point of anything we consume other than to entertain us or stimulate us in some way?
I mean, I guess, Gabe, the only thing I think that I think Dean, I think you're doing a poor job of explaining what you sort of mean.
Probably.
So I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's more so that for me, the tropes and the world has got me hooked enough to flip the page, whereas for Dean, it just doesn't feel like.
But for me, it's like it's the opposite. It's like I don't like the premise is like I can obviously get behind it. I can obviously suspend my disbelief and just watch it for what it is. But for me, it's more of like I guess the characters are carrying the show rather than the plot. Like
I just think the plot is like I think anytime you do time travel, it is such a like dangerous trope to go because it's so easy to just mess everything up. And I think that this did better. Maybe not the best, because I can't like think off the top of my head like the absolute best times time travel was ever done. But I thought and even then there's lots of issues with that. But it's like I thought that they did an amazing job of like just imagine like how this literally picks up from the moment in Endgame where he gets like pulled through, and then to in that 48 or however long the episode was, 48-minute time span, we get an establishment of this brand new organization. And it's almost like, to me, I had like kind of a similar experience to Loki, where at first it was like, I don't know how much I buy into it. But by the end, I was like, you know what? This is pretty crazy. Like they've got Infinity Stones. Like they've shown you that there's this organization that just maintains the entire order of this timeline. And I felt like the nuance and the attention to detail with everything, showing like how they have a process, they have a certain set of steps. The people who are members of the TVA, the Minuteman, they all buy into that process, which again, might be interesting to find out. Like, why is it that they follow the timekeepers? Do they have free will? Like, why are they just, or is their purpose, their entire purpose in their existence is just to maintain the timeline? Do they have family? Do they have like all this kind of stuff that could be interesting to find out as the show goes on? Now, if none of that ever gets addressed, if we get no interesting caveats like that, I think I'll be right with you where I'll be like, okay, so this felt very like, okay, it's just kind of like a side story, which is fun, but I just don't know if it is warranted, especially at this point in time where it's like you could have spent the budget, the resources on building up a new character, you know?
I mean, the reason why I specifically asked about the HBO show, it's like, you know, it's a murder mystery. Like, and then like, you know, some people weren't a fan of like the ending. A lot of people were like, it was like HBO's like biggest show in a very long time. It was very successful. So I thought maybe you had watched it, but like, and then people asked that like, oh, like what's the point? I'm like, okay, like then why like are you watching?
But it's different in my opinion when we're talking about the MCU, because the whole MCU is meant to be like built on top of each other or built next to each other. Like it's just all building blocks together.
Very good point. So I agree with that. And somebody in chat was bringing this up. So I wanted to fire this away at you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there is a chance that this show is the one that actually establishes the concepts of multiverse, so that almost like by this evil Loki or whatever traveling through, it creates those multiverse war, which is why then Doctor Strange has to help decipher the whole thing and bring an order back?
It could be they asked the showrunner earlier, like 2 days ago, like, hey, you know, is this going to tie into everything? And that person's answer was, everything in the Marvel universe is required reading. Like, and obviously, like it's going to like tie into stuff.
Yeah. It has to.
Yeah.
Of
so
course.
Then that's what I'm saying, that we'll see then as it goes, because that's when we can probably weigh on like, how will this tie into the world? Because right now it's definitely a Loki story. which personally I don't mind because again, the more depth we get for these characters, the better. I think that's what the shows are made for. The shows are made to give these characters time and nuance that seems to be lacking in the movie. Because I thought his response to his father's passing was way more impactful here than it was in Ragnarok. Like in Ragnarok, it's literally just bum bum ba-dum, bum bum ba-dum, like right after. There's just like, let's go fight, bro. It's like, but our dad just died. I don't care. Bum bum ba-dum. It's like it's just immediately a metal song. Let's go. Which, to be fair, for the movie, whatever, most people seem to really like. But I just think that the shows will give us a bit more like time to explore these characters. Motivation.
Shout out to Owen Wilson, man. Like, cause he's not like the best actor in the world. Like I think that like he's like kind of made fun
Top
of a lot.
10? Wait, really?
Yeah, like
I like Owen.
also he went through like he went through like a lot of like mental health issues. So it's like awesome to see him in something that's like obviously going to be very popular. It's great to see him. I
And
like
he
him a
got his
lot.
own Marvel Legend announced this week.
Yeah, like it's really cool to like see him. I just wanted to give a
Yeah.
little shout out to Owen
Shout
Wilson,
out.
man.
Shout out to
Very
Owen
nice.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Chat, fire away a few questions if you guys have anything else that you guys want to bring up. In the meantime, like we usually do, thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down. Gabe, hit him with it.
It was fun, man. I gotta give it a little thumbs up. It's just like when my expectations were like so low, and you know they were very very low.
Were they low key?
You already
God.
made that joke though, because you were like, it's a low key show, like a low key show. So it's like
were
low
they-
key and then low key because like the story is like a side story right now.
Hey, listen. if there's
Double
one thing
entendre.
that I-
Yeah, bro. I
there's-
wanted to say something, but I didn't want to ruin the flow.
If there's one thing I do well is take a horrible joke and make it way worse by beating it over the head.
That's true.
No,
that's a fact.
But given that like my expectations were so low, and this does have like Rick and Morty like type comedy, like I like Rick and Morty, and so like the comedy aspect of it is what.
I'm very curious to see if is the whole show written by the same guy or no?
Well, we don't know the credits for the next one yet. I think.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
cool,
I mean, I can check very quickly, but the comedy is what has me going. Like, I don't care about like all like the time travel stuff is the time travel stuff. I'm so anti time travel that like that doesn't matter so much because I already know my feelings about it.
Mhm.
So as long as I can make it make some type of sense by the end of it, like whatever. I just
Okay.
want it to be fun.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Dean?
here. So I'm so sorry you asked. The next episode is written by Elisa. Here, let me see what she's done. Karaski or something.
Oh, thumbs down right away.
Let me
Not
see what
watching
she-
next week's episode. Thumbs down. Thumbs down.
What does she do?
Give me
But y'all go ahead.
Michael.
I mean,
Justin
hey, don't you know
Bueno,
everything in the
Noah.
MCU is required reading?
That's true. Dean, let's
Um,
hear. Let's hear it. Thumbs up. Thumbs down.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
What? After all that,
Yeah.
we have a 50-minute debate.
But
and
isn't
this
that
guy
the
gives it a-
point?
Okay, I guess good thing actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
We did a
isn't
good
that the
job
point?
convincing.
Isn't that the
Did a good job.
point?
Did a good job. We did a good job. Okay. Okay. He gives it a thumbs up.
Overall, I think it was a great episode. I love the dialogue. I love the joking, and I do agree with you. At the end of the day, like when I think back to other shows that have done time travel, this has definitely done it in the way that where it like kind of fits in the box, and it's like it's very like understandable and digestible, and you're not just being like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
And I like that they also like establish it, like I said, rules, and you could see that the time variance is not like almighty. They can get killed. They can be outsmarted. They can be
Yeah.
out like it's not like they're like the most.
Yeah, they're not like omnipotent.
Yeah,
or
they're not
whatever.
like some yeah. So
Yeah, 'cause
so
I think that would've
yeah,
been
I agree
broken.
with that. At the end of the day, I do agree with it. I guess my mentality is more of like the ending, like thinking of like I just hope they end it in a way that's not like just so crazy that I'm like,
Because
wait a minute, what?
I agree with you, by the way, because I think that's one of the big issues with all the Disney Plus shows so far is that they have not been able to stick the landing. Like they have had great rides sometimes, interesting moments and everything, but then the landing seems to be oftentimes just
And then
They-
with
they
time
fall
travel,
short.
especially, it's very difficult to kind of
Yeah,
weave your way
being
through
more
that.
hesitant.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I think that's how
Uh,
I would say it as well.
For me, big thumbs up. Again, I had pretty high expectations and I really enjoyed all the acting. I thought the writing was great. I thought the the flow of the show, the tone. I felt like again, it's kind of a intangible factor, I believe, when you sometimes watch a piece of media or a read or whatever it might be, where with the use of their words, colors, music, everything that is at their disposal, they make you incredibly buy into a world. For me, the show immediately, like when they did that shot of them walking through the hallway and he looks out and he says, "I thought you said magic is impossible here," and like that moment, I was like, up until that moment in the episode, I was like, okay, perfect. Like because they did such a good job of making me buy into the process that I'm along for the ride. So for me,
I hope we see something there, dude. Like in that like weird like city looking thing. Like hope we see some of what goes on in there. I don't know how much we will because I feel like so much of this is gonna be like going after this other Loki, and there's gonna be like a bunch of traveling through time. But I want to see like what else goes on in the TVA other than what we've seen. Like obviously people
I
live there.
agree.
You see
All
it. You
that.
see
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm interested of like what is their motivation, right? Like because you have to be so incredibly selfless if you dedicate your entire life to just being like, oh yeah, I'll just maintain that everybody else's life goes according to plan. Like that's a very, stringent way of looking at things. But interesting enough, we'll see how how will that play into Loki's personality, who wants to have control. And you can't have more ultimate control than literally maintaining a specific timeline, right? So it'll be interesting to see if like the TVA itself and what they do will become appealing to Loki as just something to play out, you know?
I almost wonder if this is like a last hurrah for Loki in the same way that like Black Widow's a last hurrah for Black Widow. Where like,
you
hey,
mean like that, like after this, that's it?
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't think
Mhm.
we're seeing Black Widow in the MCU again after the movie.
Hmm.
And then like I wonder if that's what they're doing. Like Loki's like such a fan favorite character. Even given that he's such a limited character, it's not like we see hours and hours of Loki like in the movies, but people really gravitated towards him.
He's also
So
an
it makes
original
sense-
character.
What, Loki's not an original character?
No,
is he?
no, I mean like of like in like Avengers and things like that. Because a lot
yeah.
of those characters have been starting to be
Yeah.
like phased out or changed.
Yeah. So like I don't know, like if this is just like one last hurrah where we get to see Loki be like mischievous and fun and have finish off his his redemption arc was kind of already finished, but still finish it off again, like and then bring in subscribers to Disney Plus in the meantime, and then Tom Hiddleston's at like he gets to move on.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
I feel like that would be the point. I think to like move on from this.
Yeah, I mean, look, if this is like a swan song for the character, sure. I just personally think that again, because of how Marvel does things, I think there will be something because this is also one of I think the few times like they've mentioned the concept of multiverses before, obviously in WandaVision and stuff, but
Before
we've
that.
never we yeah, I know, but like we've never seen it literally this in our face where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
here's a little clip that shows you how the multiverses war against each other and battle
Yeah.
and things. And it's like, so I just think that there's probably a very good reason for why the multiverse concept is so written out and like we get almost like here's the instruction manual for how the multiverse will work in the Marvel universe. So I think that works pretty well. And it seems like overwhelmingly a lot of people in chat are bringing that up, that they believe that multiverse is going to be the reason why this show
Do you
exists.
think it gets tied up with Doctor Strange? Like after, because like there's a lot of multiverse happening, right? WandaVision slightly, but kind of. Now this Spider-Man. Yeah, and then like, hey, that's a lot of multiverse.
So, which is why it would be interesting if this show kind of uncorks that, right? Like where they mess up, maybe things don't go as well as they thought, and it establishes these branching paths that are now all colliding into one another, right? And so then you let Spider-Man happen and you let Doctor Strange fix it.
Yeah, but then after that, chill with the multiverse though.
Yeah.
Like you can't just keep doing this.
I agree with you, but I just think that if I like all the rules, I think that that's super important because we were talking about that when we were doing WandaVision, that I said, like, if you start doing time travel and start doing multiverses, you can remove all the stakes. Like because you take away everything by saying, oh, you could just rewind time, or oh, you could just go into an alternate dimension, grab this character, bring him over here, and that's it. I like that this shows you specifically that like, no, that's not permissible. There's literally a police force, essentially dedicated to making sure that does not happen. that's their job, you know? So I think that that's pretty cool.
sure.
Alex Casimir says, Blitz, I'm pretty sure that it's confirmed that Loki has a second season. So I guess maybe we're all wrong. Take that back.
Wait.
There you
All
go.
right.
We're done.
Well, that's that.
Sold everything I just said.
Wait, is
The
that
show
true?
has.
I'm
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. And interesting, good point from Dylan Francis. He says, and Ant-Man also has the multiverse because of Kang, because he's a time traveler. That's a very valid point as well. The next Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp,
right.
Quantumania,
Right.
has confirmed Kang as the villain, and Kang is known for time travel.
Season 2, like they've hinted that like it could happen, but there's nothing confirmed.
Okay, fair enough. Well, ladies and gents, that was episode number 1. It looks like overall we're definitely excited for next week, which, to be fair, has been the case with every single Marvel Disney Plus show.
So far.
We'll see if this will be the one that will be the exception as far as like maintaining this momentum. But we're all, again, cautiously optimistic about where this goes next. We hopefully do hope to see you guys here next week. Remember, on Wednesdays. So this show does air on Wednesday instead of Fridays, as the previous 2 did. So we hope to see you guys here on Wednesday. But before we say our goodbyes, if you're watching this on my side of things, Dean, let people know where to find you.
Yep, you can find me at youtube.com/unlimitedmagic. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/xunlimitedmagic, and Twitch, also unlimitedmagic.
Yeah, and Kenzie G says, I love that guy's Deadpool hat. So there you
I'm
go. You
actually
got a
hopefully
compliment.
going to be getting some more superhero hats soon. I want to get like a little collection going.
Nice. And from the Bat Cave, from the Gabe Cave. Gabe, let people know where they can find you.
In this timeline, you could find me at Here Be Gabe on Twitter and YouTube. Just this timeline. If you go to another timeline, I'm something else. But Here Be
And
Gabe.
Switch as well, right?
Yeah, and then switch forward, so
Switch.
do all the editing and other stuff over there.
Yeah, he appears there as well. So if you guys want some crazy coverage on Nintendo stuff, go check them out as well. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Check me out at Blitzwinger on all the social medias. You guys have an absolutely fantastic day. Thank you so very much for spending some time with us. We will hopefully see you here next week. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, guys.